Today I'm gonna show you one simple technique that can improve your English and help you finally start speaking. And this technique is journaling. Well, I know it may not seem obvious, but this is the bridge between understanding the language and actually using it. In this video, you'll learn why journaling is so effective, how to start and turn it into a habit, and the best techniques and tips to make it work for you. And guys, I promise, if you do it right, you'll improve every area of your English: vocabulary, grammar, speaking. So grab a pen, a notebook, and let's unlock your fluency together. To learn English, of course, you need a lot of exposure, but here is the problem. Non-stop consuming content can sometimes do more harm than good. You're always listening, reading, watching videos, immersing yourself in the language, absorbing amazing vocabulary, but that's still only input. It seems logical to just start speaking to balance everything out, but speaking is not always easy. You need a partner, you need courage, the right moment. So most people stay in their comfort zone and click on one more video.
Do you want to sound more British?
I do.
Step away from the textbook.
Imagine that learning a language is like making pancakes. You mix the ingredients: vocabulary, grammar, reading, listening, and that's your input. But you wouldn't eat uncooked dough, right? It has to be cooked. And that's where this comes in. Your writing. With this step, you get a great final product. You're speaking. Delicious, ready-to-eat pancakes. So next time you catch yourself thinking, I want to listen to more, stop and activate what you already have. Let's talk about why journaling works. First of all, it activates your passive vocabulary. Try describing what you see right now. Chances are you'll forget some words because you don't use them actively every day. So when you write after consuming content, your brain finally gets time to process it. You are not just recognizing words, you're using them. Then it's the safest form of communication. To speak, you need a partner, a situation. To write, you don't need anything. You control the time, the speed, the style, the topic. Want to keep it short? Fine. Want to write long emotional paragraphs? Also great. There is no pressure. Also, it's like a slow motion version of speaking. When we write, we think slower, which trains the brain to connect ideas, choose the right words, and build logical sentences. It helps you think in English rather than translate. When you write regularly, your brain gets used to forming thoughts directly in English. So instead of this, it slowly becomes this. And finally, my favorite one, it makes language emotionally yours. When you write about your own life, the words become meaningful. A phrase connected to personal experience sticks much stronger than a phrase heard in a podcast. And here's a bonus. Journaling also helps emotionally. Every time I took a break from writing, I remembered how good it actually feels. When my mind is full or when I feel overwhelmed, I just put everything on paper and the anxiety goes down. And sometimes I write simply to look back at certain events from the past. So it's a great way to reflect and track your language progress. Let's talk about how to get past this mental barrier of, I can't, I don't know how, I've never done this before. I used to journal only in my native language, and later I started doing it in English too. But at some point I realized that if I wanted real progress in the languages where my level was lower, like Spanish and Chinese, I had to step out of my comfort zone and start writing in those languages as well. And trust me, if you've never journaled before, it can feel even scarier. Thoughts like, I don't know what to write, or I don't even journal in my own language are completely normal. What you need to remember is that writing is not a test. You don't need to do it perfectly. Love movies? Write a recap. Making a shopping list? Write it in English. Remembered a childhood memory? Write it down. It can be messy because it's an experiment, a creative space. Just let it out. Let it out. Our thoughts can feel like a swarm of bees. So many words, ideas flying around. But when you start writing, everything gets shape. And important, don't turn journaling into a chore. It's not about a 30-minute session every night. You might ask me, but Yuliya, how to start? Begin small. Set a timer for 5 minutes and write whatever comes to mind. Don't worry about perfection, just start. Later, when journaling becomes a habit, you'll figure out how much to write. And how to make it a habit? First, choose a format that works for you. Personally, I prefer pen and paper, but your laptop or phone is totally fine. When I was traveling or living abroad, I often wrote on my phone. Super convenient and fast. Next, connect journaling with something enjoyable. Create a little ritual your brain will look forward to. For me, it's sitting in a cafe with my notebook and a cup of morning coffee. Sometimes I prefer staying at home, wrapped in a warm blanket with a cup of tea. In the evenings, I love turning on soft lights or lighting a few candles. And depending on my mood, I might put on some music or just enjoy the silence while looking out of the window. So choose whatever makes you feel comfortable, anything that helps you slow down and enjoy the moment while you write. And let's talk about the prompts. If you're new to journaling, prompts are the starter ideas that help you begin. Try this today. Yesterday, I. Tomorrow, I want to. This weekend, I'm learning English because. If you want to practice a certain structure, make it the base of your mini story. I usually write new words or grammar structures in the margins and then use them to write my text. For example, if you want to practice present perfect, you can write, "This week, I have watched 3 movies in English." Or if you want to practice future tense, you may start with, "Next week I will," or "Tomorrow I will." You can also use ChatGPT to generate ideas. It can ask questions and give prompts. Personally, I prefer Pinterest for that. It just feels more creative and inspiring to me. Okay, and what to do with new vocabulary if you don't know or forget a word? Just like when reading, don't stop the flow of writing. You have a few options. Replace it with a word in your native language. Highlight it and come back to it later. Or just skip it and use a synonym. Just don't interrupt your thinking. Here is my favorite method for Spanish and Chinese. Write a text in Word or any other text editor. Paste it into ChatGPT for feedback, get corrections and notes. And the most important one, rewrite the corrected version in your journal. Highlight your mistakes, useful phrases, and new words. This way you are writing, learning vocabulary, and improving grammar. Now you've got everything you need. Simple tips to get started, prompts to guide you, and techniques to make journaling actually improve your English. So what are you waiting for? Start journaling today and tell me in the comments how it goes. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Dun, 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 dun.